today we're talking about feeding during the first year. We're going to look at how important this is. You may think that, of course, when a child is delivered, then, you know, of course, they have to eat and all that. How relevant it is, we'll be talking about that today. So we have our experts here and they'll help us understand this better. So we have Dr. Moses Berimajimate. He's a district Director of Health Service. He's a public health physician specialist and he's a medical doctor. He's also a Reverend Minister as well. And we also have Dr. Ashura. She is a pediatrician and I'm so thrilled to have them here. They're going to help us really understand the topic of feeding the infant during the first year better. We are going for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more.
Stomach pain. He's got flu.
Come. You too.
Both of you. Both?
The illnesses are different, but the problem of both is the same.
Same?
Germs. When germs go from hand to mouth, they cause illnesses like stomachache. And when germs go inside the nose, they cause illnesses like flu. The symptoms are different, but the protection remains the same.
New Lifebuoy with Active Natural gives 10 times better protection from infection-causing germs.
Okay, you're welcome, doctors.
Thank you.
Doctor, why should we be concerned about feeding during the first year? Of course, as humans, we have to eat. The baby also has to eat. So why should we be concerned about feeding during the first year?
Thank you very much. And it takes 9 months averagely for a baby to be born. And I always think that is a lot of investment. And immediately the baby is born, the most important thing for the survival of the baby is feeding. Feeding has a relationship to every aspect of the baby's development. If that one doesn't go right, a lot of things will go wrong. Okay. So it is very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and what are the recommendations? Because in terms of health and all that, we have the World Health Organization making recommendations for us to help us improve.
The basic recommendations are that for the first 6 months of the child's life, the child should be fed exclusively on breast milk.
Okay.
No water, no other food until the child is 6 months.
Okay.
Except in a few situations where maybe the child might not be doing well and then doctor prescribes something. Otherwise, the child must be fed exclusively on breast milk. You shouldn't give water. Don't give any other thing.
Nothing. Only breast milk.
Absolutely.
And breast milk alone
breast
is
milk
enough
and breast milk alone, and it is enough until 6 months.
How can one eat without water?
Well, I have 3 kids and I've done that to all of them and they have all done well. They are all teenagers now. So
okay,
it's
you
not
are
like
an expert, so you understand that better.
And that's why...
What about the woman who cannot really understand that? How can the
So
baby...
she should trust me. Apart from the fact that she needs to trust me, this is evidence-based.
Is that really enough? Just trusting you?
Yes, that it is also what? Evidence-based.
Okay.
It is, the basis is research. That research has shown that children that are breastfed are not likely to die from especially diarrhea and pneumonia than others that are not breastfed. And maybe as we go into it, there are a lot of things we'll talk about as to the importance of breastfeeding.
The doctor has made it clear that for the first 6 months, a mother should give the baby breast milk only. Why is it so important for us to do this and not give any other feed or even add water?
Okay. Thank you very much. I think doctor have said it, and I even like the way he said it. You don't have to add anything, no water, nothing. And the reason being, exclusive breastfeeding, the milk itself has enough water. It has all the nutrients the baby needs in the first 6 months. So if you look at all the benefits that the baby will get from exclusive breastfeeding, if I start counting, I'm sure we can't finish them, but few of them, it prevents them from diarrhea disease. He said it, prevent them from getting pneumonia, prevent malnutrition. We still have issues of babies who are undernourished, and some of them die.
How is that?
So, for example, if you give the baby breast milk, like some people will say breast milk is cheap, but it's not even cheap, it's free. Every woman who gave birth can breastfeed the baby. But sometimes people will not breastfeed, you come and add certain feed, and then they cannot afford and doesn't feed the baby appropriately, then the baby get undernourished, get infection, and the baby can die. So you can see if we exclusively breastfeed our baby, we will be able to prevent a lot of conditions that could happen. Undernutrition, and all the things I've just said is like immediate thing, but it also have other effect. For example, a lot of research shows that baby who are exclusively breastfed, they do better, they perform better in school than those who are not exclusively breastfed.
Than those who are not exclusive, does it mean that it doesn't matter what the baby is being fed? Because I know that there are mothers who don't also feed exclusively the breast milk. However, their babies are healthy, they don't get sick. According to this research, are we able to tell what the other group was being given?
Yes. So when we say other people who are not breastfeeding exclusively, their babies are healthy, how healthy? And how do we look the word healthy? Because I know sometimes when you're at work and somebody bring a baby who is chubby, fat, and people say, hey, the baby is so nice, it's so healthy. But this baby is overweight. And maybe have the effect of getting obesity. So the research I talked about, they look at babies who are breastfed exclusively for 6 months and those who are not breastfed exclusively for 6 months. Because when we say exclusively breastfed, it means only breast milk was given and no any other food. And follow them up, they realize performance of those exclusively breastfed was better than the one who were not exclusively breastfed.
And this difference was significant?
Yes, very significant.
So I'm asking this because there are mothers who have genuine concerns. A few, which are very few, of course, they are not able to express breast milk. Even when they put the baby to the breast, they don't have enough. There are orphan babies. There are mothers who may be sick to the extent that they may not be able to do exclusive breastfeeding. How do we support such babies in a way that they are able to grow in a similar pattern as the breastfed child?
Yeah, so it's true, some people have genuine reason, but then we have to look at it. If an orphan, I'll talk about it, but I even usually want to look at this word, I don't have enough breast milk. It is very important to find out what made the mother think the breast milk is not enough. Because most of the mother will come and say, oh, my baby is crying a lot. Because she's crying a lot, I think I don't have enough breast milk. But maybe the baby is crying because of different things. Because it's hot, maybe it's cold. You want you to change the diaper, yes. So it is important for all women that who think I don't have enough milk to come to the hospital, see the right people. I'm saying the right people who healthcare profession who has knowledge on breastfeeding, so that the healthcare profession will look at the reliable sign that this mother doesn't have enough milk. Then if it is true, mother doesn't have enough milk, then you should look why she doesn't have enough milk. Can I do anything to help this woman getting enough milk? Sometimes it's just the woman's confidence in breastfeeding that make her not producing enough milk. So that is the point of not enough milk. The issue of orphans, that one is a very difficult situation to all of us, especially for us who taking care of babies. If a baby loses a mother, then we have to find other breast milk substitute. But for those babies, we have to do a very close follow-up, especially with their growth. Because if we don't take care, the caretaker might not be able to give the right feed, they might get malnutrition, and the outcome might not be so good. So close follow-up with the provider.
Okay, thank you, Doc. I want to ask something about latching. I want us to talk about that. But before that, I think Doctor would want to add something.
Yeah, what I'll say is that it is like you have injured your leg, one of your legs. We know that the best thing is for you to walk on 2 legs. But if you have injured one of the legs beyond restoration, we amputate it. We know it will not give you the best of life, but it will be better than leaving the badly injured leg there. So yes, we know that exclusive breastfeeding is the best. But if a baby loses the mother, and becomes an orphan, then we have no option than to get other things that are close to the breast milk. And like she said, and we need to do close follow-up. And what research has also proven is that when babies or children lose their mothers, there is a high probability that they are going to die.
When babies lose
Yes,
their
when they
mothers.
lose their mothers, the probability is high that they will die.
How?
Yes, both from both social and then biological consequences. Because a mother's care is difficult to replace. A mother's care is difficult to replace. So if you find 500 orphans as against 500 children who have their parents, the probability that any of them will die is higher for those without mothers than it is for those who have mothers.
Wow, that
Yeah.
sounds interesting.
Yeah, and
But-
that is research based.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more about latching and all that.
Looking for commercial cleaners in Ghana? Then your only solution is Delete Ghana Limited. At Delete Ghana Limited, we supply high quality, professional, comprehensive and cost-effective commercial cleaning services across Ghana. We have the experience, specialized skills and equipment to clean your offices, commercial facilities, retail outlets and shopping centers, estates, schools, sports venues, etc. Other services include waste management, facility management, and road and building construction. Call us now on 020-7756-881. You can also follow us on Instagram at Delete Ghana Limited and Facebook Delete Ghana Limited. For more information, email us on info@deleteghana.com or log on to www.deleteghana.com.
Dr. Ashura, about latching the baby to the breast, how is it supposed to be done? Because I realize at social gatherings and even around that a lot of mothers don't know how to hold the breast or how to position the baby. They think it's just about putting the breast in the baby's mouth. How are we supposed to do it?
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so happy you asked this question because I think for successful breastfeeding, positioning the child and attaching the baby to the breast is very important. So the most important thing first is both the mother and the baby has to be comfortable during feeding.
Okay.
So if the mother is sitting up, she could sit, he could sleep, but he should sit up if she's sitting in a place where she can rest her back. So what we usually say, the mother shouldn't go to the baby, but bring the baby to her.
Okay.
Okay, so which means you know lean. You bring the baby closer to herself.
Okay.
And then the baby's face should face the mother and the baby's chest should be close or touch the mother's chest.
Okay.
They are different positions, but
Okay.
let me talk about the most common one. You usually see mothers holding the baby. So if I'm breastfeeding my baby with my left breast, I'll hold the baby with my left arm. And the baby's head will lie on the elbow.
Okay.
And it is important to support the whole body of the baby. And the baby's body will lie in straight line and closer to you. But the time you are bringing the baby to you, so the nose or the tip of the nose of the baby should be directly opposite to the nipple of the mother's breast. So when you are bringing the baby, the nose directly opposite to the nipple, and you try to make the nipple touch the upper lip of the baby. And by doing that, it will help the baby opening the mouth wide. Because the main problem we have is baby being able to open the mouth wider.
Okay.
So by make sure the baby's nose is direct opposite to the nipple, and let the nipple of the mother touch the upper part of the upper lip of the baby, will help the baby open the mouth wider. As soon as the baby opens the mouth, you put the breast into the baby's mouth. But you bring the baby again. You don't put it like lean forward. After the baby, then the baby can grasp the bigger part of the breast, not only the nipple. Because if the baby takes only the nipple, anytime the baby suckle, then the nipple will come and hit the roof of the baby's mouth.
Okay.
And that is when, after some time, mother will say, I have sore in
nipples.
the nipple. But if the baby take a bigger part of the breast, including the darker part of the breast, anytime the baby breastfeed, the nipple will go and hit the softer part of the baby's mouth, and you prevent those cracked nipples. Okay. So it is very important. And then somebody can ask maybe, how will I know my baby is attached well to the breast? So you have to make sure that the baby's chin is touched the mother's breast. The mouth is wide open. And if you look at the darker part of the breast, you can see it more on the lower lip of the baby than down. Is that confusing?
When somebody is looking, the person will see the areola more at the top than it is at the lower side.
Okay, so I thought that the baby, we should have the areola in the baby's mouth.
Yes, but you realize that more at the lower side of the areola gets into the mouth than the top of it.
Okay, I get you
the
now.
The areola is the darker part of the breast. And what happens is that where the milk is stored is the area under the areola, not at the nipple. So when you get the areola into the baby's mouth, anytime the baby makes an attempt to suck, it presses on the milk inside the areola and gets it out. Okay. And that's the reason why if you only put the nipple of the baby into the mother into the baby's mouth, nothing flows. They can suckle and suckle, but they are not getting breast milk because the pressure that needs to be put on the base under the areola where the milk is actually stored is not applied because that part is not in the mouth. It's not inside the mouth. So it is very important. Don't just put the nipple into the baby's mouth. The areola, a big portion of the areola must get into the baby's mouth.
So like the mother has to make sure she's doing it well.
Okay.
Yeah, because those are the issues that can happen. You have breast problems, you have issue of not getting enough milk, and then the baby is not gaining weight. The baby doesn't develop well.
Okay. So you mentioned sore nipples, cracked nipples. Can such mothers still breastfeed?
Yes. So even if the mother has cracked nipple, you can still breastfeed. And we have realized that if you breastfeed the baby, the latter part of the breast, or the hind milk, you can put some few drops of the hind milk where there is crack and let it air dry, and that can heal those cracks.
So if it's bleeding, if the nipple is bleeding, you suspend bleeding, the breastfeeding there, and then concentrate on the other one until this one heals. And talking about the cracks again, many times the cracks come when the attachment to the breast is not well done. Because even where there are cracks, when the baby is well attached, as she said, the nipple is in the mouth and only touches the soft palate. So it doesn't come with pain because the pressure is on areola, not on the nipple when well attached. Right? Yeah.
And if the mother is not breastfeeding on one breast, we advise the mother should express breast milk from there so that the breast doesn't dry out.
Okay. And with a sore nipple and all that, there is no chance of the baby getting infections and all that?
You can comfortably breastfeed your baby even if you have sore nipple.
Okay.
If the mother has HIV and then there is obvious bleeding, we stop breastfeeding there until the bleeding stops.
Even when the mother is on antiretroviral?
Yes, we stop the breastfeeding until the bleeding stops.
So in that case, such mothers need to see the specialist or the doctor so that they can make the right recommendations for them and the babies can feed appropriately.
And if it is one side, then the mother can use the
other one.
Okay. That's good to know. So in advocating for exclusive breastfeeding, there are mothers who are not well nourished themselves. If they keep doing exclusive breastfeeding, how does it affect the baby?
The health of the baby is always connected to the health of the mom. Don't think that you can concentrate on the health of a mother who is not doing well, eventually it will affect the baby. So it's not like you have brought the baby to the hospital and we are only concentrating on the welfare of the baby. No, we are concentrating on the welfare of the mother as well. And she said something about how to put the nipple into the baby's mouth. If any child that is born has this innate character that makes them seek to hold or suckle things, so immediately you put the nipple to the lip, they open their mouth and are ready to suckle. That's an innate characteristics. There is another thing we also didn't talk about, and that is feeding on demand. When you are doing exclusive breastfeeding, you have to feed the child on demand. And what we mean is that anytime the child, if you are a very observant mother, anytime the child wants to breastfeed, you see it will start opening the mouth, it will start fidgeting, and the advice is that for a baby, a child that has been exclusively breastfed, anytime you see a sign that the child wants to breastfeed, you don't postpone it. You quickly go in and breastfeed. Another thing is also that the milk that comes first, anytime you are breastfeeding, is more watery and contains less energy than the last one that comes. Okay. So when you put the baby to one breast, you make sure you breastfeed until everything runs out, so that the last part that contains the fat is discharged into the baby before you move to the other one. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Yes. And then when the baby is also born, the first breast milk that comes has a yellowish coloration. We call that colostrum. It contains a lot of antibodies that protect the baby against infections. In the olden days, the grandmoms were advising the mothers to discharge it. But we now understand it scientifically. It contains antibodies that give a lot of protection to the child, especially when it comes to diarrheal diseases. And mothers should make sure that they breastfeed the children with that. And the policy in Ghana is that when you give birth, within 30 minutes, the breast must be in the child's mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to add up a little bit, with the mother nutritional status, I think there are some research shows the mother nutritional status does not have directly effect on how much breast milk they'll produce or the quality of breast milk, unless
the quality of breast milk.
But unless the mother is severely malnourished. So if you say, oh, the mother cannot eat well, that shouldn't be a reason why she's not breastfeeding the baby. But saying that the mother needs more energy to be able to breastfeed the baby for herself. Okay. So the mother, we advise they should eat more, they should take more quality food, more fruits, more proteins to help the baby or to help herself breastfeeding the baby.
Okay, so we are running out of time, and so for the second part of the first year, I think we will have to talk about that another time. But just to wrap up, we know that we are advocating for exclusive breastfeeding, and some mothers have genuine challenges, which we have already talked about. Mm-hmm. What do we have to say generally to mothers to encourage them to feed the child right and keep feeding breast milk exclusively?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is we need to accept that breastfeeding is the best feed for our babies. And I think people can accept that after knowing the benefits of breastfeeding. Because sometimes I ask myself, when I sit down and look at all that breast milk can do to the baby, why should I go and give baby water? The breast milk has enough water. So I think we have to intensify our education to mothers on the benefit of breastfeeding, what babies are missing when they are not exclusively breastfeeding the first 6 months. And after that also we have to support mother to be able to breastfeed the baby exclusively. So doctor have talked about...
How do we support?
Yeah.
Doctor,
yes, doctor have talked about putting baby to breast within the first 30 minutes. So now every baby in Ghana here, when a baby is born, we put the baby skin to skin with the mother. That is, we put the baby in between the mother's breast. And that facilitates the initiation of breastfeeding within the 30 minutes. And it helps a lot. And then anytime mother has a problem on breast milk, maybe it could be a problem with the breast, Could be a problem with the positioning. Could be a problem she feels she doesn't have enough milk. Don't decide on your own at home. Come to the hospital. Let the health worker help you come out with those problems. I think that will help.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yeah, you know, I always talk about social policies
Yes.
that support breastfeeding.
Yes.
For instance, 6 months of maternity leave. 6 months, not 3 months, 6 months. By that time, the mother has finished the exclusive breastfeeding.
Yes.
But for now that we are running the 3 months, let the work environment be for instance, the policy is that mothers do not, when they resume work, they don't go to work with their children. So what happens? They leave them at home, and the difficulties of storing breast milk and other things. Let's create social enclaves. For instance, if we even organize a party, you know, the women don't want their breast exposed. Let the MC come and announce that, please, the breastfeeding mothers can go into this room and comfortably breastfeed their children when need be. Okay. Let it be all over the place. Any gathering we organize and the breastfeeding women will be there. Let's make appropriate provision for them to breastfeed their children, not wait until they get home.
All right. Thank you so much, doctors. No, you heard for yourself, exclusive breastfeeding is best for the baby. No water, nothing. For the first 6 months, the breast milk alone is nutritionally adequate for the child. It contains enough water, the baby doesn't get thirsty. If you have any challenges, you need to consult the experts. And this show is proudly brought to you by Optimum Nutrition Care Consultant, Comfort Legacy Foundation. My makeup was done by M. Gorgeous Beauty Clinic. See you next week.